Good morning, class 9 students. Today we are going to begin a new session and it is on tenses. So, before we proceed and study what tenses or tense is or tenses are, let's find out what is the meaning of this particular word, tense. When we speak or when we write, we usually indicate a situation. We usually need to indicate whether the situation, we need to indicate whether the situation exists in the present or, existed in the past or it is likely to exist in the future. And how do we indicate? We actually take the help of verbs. What is verb? A word that denotes an action. Understand? And in simple language, tenses, tense, a verb based method which we used to indicate time, whether it is in continuation or in completeness of right of an action or a state in relation to the time of speaking. And in simple words, it is a method that we use to refer to time, past, present, and future. There are 12 major verb tenses, and what these are, you can actually we have present tense, present continuous tense, present perfect tense, present perfect continuous tense, past continuous tense, past perfect tense, past perfect continuous tense, which we also call past perfect progressive tense, future progressive tense, future perfect tense, and future perfect progressive tense. So we are going to study all of them. So it is very important for you to keep your pen and paper or your notebook handy so that you can write each and every explanation, because that's how we are going to study tenses through online mode. So the first tense is simple present tense. So before we get into this, let's understand what auxiliary verb and main verbs are and a few types of sentences. See, auxiliary verb, we also call them a helping verb. It is used with main verb. What is main verb? Main verb denotes the main action, right? Express the main verb's tense, mood, or voice. So, what are the main auxiliary verb? They are to be, to have, to do. And also, they appear in the following forms: to be, like am, is, are, was, were, being, been, will be. These all are helping verbs. So the first sentence we have is simple present tense. So this is let me just highlight. This is the construction, or you can say the formula. This is how a simple present tense is constructed, right? We have subject means subject is usually a noun or pronoun which initiates an action, and this is auxiliary verb and main verb plus object. So this part is called predicate, in which we get to know the action part. So this is actually the construction of a sentence or a simple present tense. And we have three exceptions here: 1, 2, 3. We will study them later when you have the better idea what tenses are. So what can be subject? Subject can be I, you, we, they, he, she, it, I, you, a pronoun or a noun. These are called subjects. Auxiliary verb, helping verb like do, does, and am, right? And main verb, a word that denotes an action. And coffee here is object. What is coffee here? Coffee here is, it is object. So the question is, when do we use simple present tense? See, simple present tense is used when we refer to something that exists in the present times, which the thing that exists in present times. For example, I am a boy, right? I live in a flat in Mumbai. I study in class 8, I have many friends, or I love to watch football matches. This is something, uh, you know, you we can say exist in the present times, right? And then they're like when you talk about your thoughts, feelings, or any reactions, events that happen in the present, like I feel ill today, I feel angry, my head pains, I run around in the sun. So the understand. And also present tense is used when we talk about repeated actions or habits that happens regularly. For example, you're a student, you go to school regularly, so it means I go to school every day. I is subject, go is the main verb, there is no auxiliary verb. I go to school every day. Every day is adverb which qualifies a verb which tell us more about verb which qualifies a verb. So let's look at a few example here. So again, in simple language, how do we use the simple present tense? We use simple present tense when the action is general. Action is general means, uh, you know I'm a boy, I live in a flat. And the second is action happens all the time. Habitual actions means you go to school every day, I go to school every day. The action is not only happening now, and the action which is not happening only now, it's for example, we can also talk about this the universal things, uh, like the equator is an imaginary line, right? uh, Satellites, moon, rotates, and we drink water to live. There are so many universal things. And the statement which is always the statement which is always true, it is again universal truth. For example, honesty is the best policy, right? So let's John drives a taxi. So what is John is subject. What is it? It is subject. Drives is main verb. A taxi is object. And uh, you know what is es here? Always remember, uh, in the present tense, suppose there are like I am the first person, I am talking, and you're the second person because I am talking to you. And whenever we talk about third person in simple present tense, the main verb always takes the form of es, like in this particular sentence, because I am talking about John. So who am I talking to? I am talking to you, the one who are watching, the one who is watching video, right? So I'm talking about John. So John is third person. And in present tense, when we talk about third person, singular person, the main verb always it takes the es form, right? The sun rises, he eats mango, my mother goes to market. As you can see, the main verb is the takes the form of es. Understand? Then there are more example. Let's look at them. I live in I live in New York. I live in New York. I subject, live is main verb in preposition, and New York, it is again subject, a name of place. So I is singular here. So I live in, there is no es form in the main verb. But if I say he lives in New York, because he is third person, so the main verb takes the es form. And in this question, in this example, the moon goes around the earth. So you can see es form contains go plus es, because moon is third person singular in present tense. John drives taxi, and then he does not drive a bus. He does not drive a bus. So here we have auxiliary verb, and this is a negative sentence, because your negative sentence usually contain a word not. Understand? So we have Uh, so uh, so we have does so we have es form in auxiliary verb, because again he is third person singular in present tense. We do not work at night. We is plural, so that is why it is do not does. Understand, we is subject. This is negative sentence. That is why we have used the word not. We do not work at night. Right? Do you play football? It is a general question. Do you play football? Again, it is a simple present tense. Okay. So this is so these are this is where we use simple present tense, right? And there are more times when we use them, like when you refer to something that is going to happen in the future, we can also use present tense for to denote actions in future. And how do we say it? For example, the train arrives at 6 a.m. The train arrives at 6 p.m. am. It is again if you look at the structure, the train is subject plus main verb arrives at 6 a.m. Right, at is preposition, and 6 a.m. is time. So you can say, but it actually denotes future. So this is this is where we use simple present tense. Or we can say prime minister arrives tomorrow in Dehradun. And you can also use present tense when you want to talk about a past event in a dramatic manner, uh, like Mr. Nathan hears. As you can see, HEAR, this is main verb, and we have S form, not ES but S form, because Mr. Nathan is singular person and it is in present tense. So whenever we talk about third person, which is a singular in present tense, main verb always takes the form of ES. So Mr. Nathan uh, hears a knock on the door. He gets up from his chair and walks to the door. The knocking becomes louder and more urgent. So hears, he gets, walks, becomes. So this tells us that it is completely simple present tense, because what is the construction? Subject plus helping verb plus main verb. And in simple present tense, we always use the first form of the verb. And you're aware that each and every verb have three forms, like go, went, gone, right? So in this right, so simple present tense always takes the first form of the verb. So this is all about uh, simple present tense, your habitual action, universal truth, general talk, or something that exists in the present time, like I'm a boy, I live in a flat. Now we have present continuous tense. What is present continuous tense? Present continuous tense is used for actions, like which is going on at the time of speaking. Suppose I am teaching you grammar, I am teaching you tenses. So what will I say? I will say I am teaching you present continuous tense. So an action that is continue at the time of speaking, that time we use present progressive tense, present continuous tense. Suppose I am singing. If I say I am singing, so it means it is this action is gonna, it is being in continuation at the time of speaking. So what is the definition? We often use the present continuous tense in English. That is very different from the simple present tense. You're aware it is completely different. If you compare the structure, you will find why it is different, and also in use. Okay, so continuous tense are so called progressive tense. So the present progressive tense is the same as the present continuous tense. I have already cleared this. So let's look at the structure. So again, in simple present tense, what was the structure? Subject plus main verb, first form of main verb plus object, right? Or subject plus auxiliary verb plus first form of verb plus object. But in the look at the structure, look at the formula. In present continuous, which is continue at the time of speaking, what is the structure? Subject plus helping verb like is, am, are, because we are talking about present, so we will use only helping verb which is used in present tense, right? Like is, am, are. And main verb means a word which denotes an action and then object. So when do we use present? When you refer to a temporary situation, or when you emphasize something happening in the present, right? Which is continue at the time of speaking. Or a repeated action that are annoying or habitual action that takes place regularly. For example, are they still playing outside? It is so dark. But in simple words, the simple definition of present continuous tense, how you are supposed to identify it: simple, an action which is continuous, which is continue at the time of speaking. So subject plus, and always remember, what do we do in simple present continuous tense? We always uh, ing form with the main verb. Let's look at some examples. I am speaking to you. I am speaking to you, right? I subject, am auxiliary helping verb present, and speaking, as you can say, speak is main verb, so we have used the form of ing. Why we have used the form of ing? That is what it shows us, that the action is continuous. It's is happening at the time of speaking. Just for example, you are reading this. For example, you are reading this. So the verb is read, and we have ing form. You are reading. So what is the structure? Subject plus auxiliary verb plus main verb plus ing plus object. She is not staying in London. We are not playing football. Subject is we, helping verb is are, not is negative word because of the negative sentence. Playing is we have ing form in the verb play, and football is object, which is also a noun. In right, is he watching TV? This is an interrogative sentence. We'll study later about what interrogative sentences are. But is he watching TV? Again, we're asking a question, but when we ask this question, we it actually seems that this action is it is being done and it is happening at the time of speaking. Are they waiting for John? Right? So we use present continuous tense to talk about action happening now, right? Action happening now or action in future. Yes. uh, let's find out when and where. I am eating my lunch. It is it talks about an action which is happening now. I am eating my lunch. I is subject, am is helping verb, auxiliary verb, eating is eat plus ing form, and my lunch is object, right? So this action is happening right now. For more example, the pages are turning, the candle is burning, the numbers are spinning. And for actions happening around now, uh, John is going out with Mary. So these are some more examples, right? I am living with my sister until I find an apartment. I'm learning to drive. So these are all the examples of present progressive tense. And how do we use present continuous tense, present progressive tense, to denote future? For example, look at this question, look at this statement: I am taking my exam next month. So this next month uh, adverb, it actually tells us about that this action will happen in future. And this part, I am taking exam, this denotes present progressive tense. So I am taking my exam next month. I am taking my exam next month. So we can also use present continuous tense to talk about future, and we have seen here how. Let me just highlight again. Understand? So, but you have to use a future word in order to make a present continuous tense for the future. For example, tomorrow, I'm taking my exam tomorrow. I'm taking my exam in June at Christmas. So you have to use this future words in order to let your sentence of present continuous tense to uh, denote future. A firm plan or program, right? We are eating in a restaurant tonight. We are eating in a restaurant tonight means we'll eat tonight. Future. And how which tense have we used? Present continuous tense. We have already booked the table. They can play tennis with you tomorrow. They are not working. When are you starting your new job? So these are all the examples we have just looked. The basic rule is how we can change, how do we spell the present continuous tense. uh, when we make the present continuous tense by adding ing form to the base verb, to the main verb. Let's look at the example. Work plus working, play playing, assist assisting, see seeing, be being. That's how we change. uh, this is the exception here. We'll discuss this later. Stop stopping, run running. This is the that's how we uh, add ing form in the main verb. Stop stopping, run running, begin beginning, open opening, come coming, mistake mistaking. So these are all the examples. Now let's let's study about present perfect tense. What are present perfect tense? you know if you really want to understand what present perfect tense is, so please listen carefully. uh, the exact and the simple definition of present perfect tense, which will help you understand it, is an action which have just completed. uh, just to denote this action which has just completed in the present, we use present perfect tense. Suppose I'm writing my homework and I have completed it. What will I say? I have done my work. I have completed my work. Understand? uh, uh, or a simple definition is when you refer to a past action but do not mention a specific time when the action took place. So this definition is again very complex. The simple definition is, when you are doing something and you have just finished it, I would recommend that you use present perfect tense. Suppose you are eating right now and you have finished eating. What will you say? I have eaten. I have eaten. Usually when you refer to action that have recently been completed, we have eaten our dinner, I have completed my homework, or she has bought a pretty dress for the party, we have selected a theme for the new wall magazine. So these are all the examples of present perfect tense. Okay, now let's look at the structure. Subject and to make a sentence present perfect, we always use have, has plus main verb, and it is always third form. In present perfect and in past perfect, the main verb, we always use the main verb third form. For example, this is the formula, or you can say the construction. Just look at here. Subject plus auxiliary verb plus main verb. Subject, I have seen. See, saw, seen. I have seen 80. You have eaten mine. You have eaten dinner. She has not been to Rome. You can see that in present perfect continuous, the verb, we have used the third form of the verb. We have always used the third form of the verb. And subject is subject plus main verb, sorry, subject plus helping verb plus main verb. Helping verb will always be has or have. If the subject is plural, we will use have, right? He, for he and she, we will, or for it we will use has. And for I we use have. I have done this, I have eaten, she has eaten, they have eaten. Third form of the verb, and always the third form of the verb. Have you finished? Have they done it? I have, you have, she has, they have, John has, my dog has, I have finished my work, John has seen this, they have gone home, right? The tense is called the present perfect tense. There is always a connection with the past, with the present. There are basically three uses for the present perfect tense: experience, change, and continuing situation. I have seen it. He has lived in Bang. He has lived in Bangkok means uh, he he has lived in Bangkok means he is still living in Bangkok. And understand, if we say he lived in Bangkok means he does not live anymore. But if we say he has lived in Bangkok means uh, he lived in the past and he's still living here. Understand? Present perfect tense for change. I have bought a car. John has broken his leg. Has the price gone up? So this is all present perfect tense. So that's all we have for today. We'll do the remaining tenses in the next session. Thank you, everyone. Do look for some questions so that you can practice. In case you have any confusion, you can sort out your queries in the Zoom class, or you can reach to your teacher. Thank you, everyone.